Good afternoon, Mr. Bhaskaran.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for accepting this interview, which will be published in our monthly newsletter, which is called ABAX Focus. And I will start with this question. Your company has developed UPilot, which is a cloud-based CRM software platform that is now marketed in 26 countries. Tell us about the key characteristics of UPilot.
So UPilot is a cloud-based CRM which combines social media, analytics, and machine learning in a single platform. Right? So what it means to our customers is that they can set up a single solution that manages all their sales activities, implement organization rules, data visibility rules, and advanced data security, all in a single integrated solution, without having the high cost, high complexity, and low adoption problems that legacy systems face. And there are two key aspects to it. One is most CRMs are built as a system of record, which means a salesperson does something and then goes inside and enters the data and tells, okay, I've done this, right? So this creates a lot of adoption issues. Like the salesperson doesn't want to re-log everything that he has done again as he has done it. So what UPilot does is combine several psychological levers, gamification, and data enrichment. And we also use automation, a lot of automation and machine learning to transform CRM into a sales enablement platform. So what happens as a result is salespeople enthusiastically adopt this platform, and as a result, the managers get the most accurate insights. The second aspect is that we have simplified a lot the workflow, the eliminating all the jargons, and people are not overwhelmed by complexity. And we have also super simplified the administrative aspects. For example, who can export data, what kind of visibility is given to different people. All that can be done within 3 clicks. So you don't need to hire a full-time system administrator or a CRM administrator to do these kind of jobs.
Okay, thank you. And how do you compare with other solutions, other CRM solutions that are on the market? So basically, what, in other words, would you say is your unique selling proposition?
See, if you look at the CRM market today, you can easily divide it into 2 sections, right? One is the small business CRMs, which are essentially contact management systems. But as the companies grow, say about $100 million, between $2 and $100 million revenue, a lot of things like customization, reporting structure, organization rules, data export restrictions, all these things become super critical, because you can't scale an organization without these functions in place. So if you look at players who provide these functions, there are only few players, and about 4 or 5 players in the market have about 50% of the $38 billion market, which is growing at about 12% CAGR. And and there is a lack of easy to administer, easy to use solution that brings together the social, mobile, analytics, and machine learning in a single platform. So when a business starts to grow and is looking for a serious solution and an alternative to complex legacy systems, which does not bog you down with administration, UPilot has proven to be a superior solution.
I understand that part of your sales and development team is actually based in Mauritius, where you also hold your intellectual property. Why did you choose Mauritius to do that?
So, if you go a little back, we started UPilot, and we validated the concept, and we started building UPilot in Paris. And then we moved the entire development team to Mauritius, which significantly reduced our development costs compared to doing the same thing, using the same team in somewhere in Europe. And the team obviously liked being in Mauritius, and and we augmented the team with local developers as well. And at present, we have another development center in Bangalore as well.
And do you have any plans to exploit the potential of the African countries? And if yes, are there any specific countries that you're looking at currently?
So we are developing a pan-African strategy along with our partners, including ABAX. And we want to be a key player in this CRM market in the continent. We are in the process of setting up partners in Mauritius to cover this part of Africa, and in Ivory Coast to cover West Africa. ABAX is helping us and is more than a service provider. He's a partner for us. And it's kind of, ABAX is so networked in Africa, it's like we are plugging into a matrix, right? So we get access to different suppliers, friends, and we can set up the network. That's what we are doing.
Thank you. And how do you see UPilot and or your company evolving with time? And in that scenario, will Mauritius still be part of your future development?
Yeah, we have about customers in about 26 countries now. Okay, and most of our customers have come through word of mouth. And as the focus is to firmly establish ourselves as an easy to administer sales enablement solution for companies with revenues from 2 to 20, $100 million revenue. So I see Mauritius as a place where we will be, be supporting and supplementing our development and customer support teams of our global customers from Mauritius.
Is the fact that Mauritius is bilingual, so as you would go for Africa and obviously working with bilingual countries, do you see that as an advantage?
See, if you look at companies like Ceridian here in Mauritius, right, it's in $1 billion plus revenue company, is supporting their product development and customer support with a 600 people team in Mauritius. So it's a proven model, and I don't see any reason why we will not be able to replicate it in Mauritius.
Thank you. Are there any things that probably you would want to add, any features that you would want to highlight regarding UPilot?
I think, especially people who have used legacy systems before, once they see the system, they kind of really mind blown by that, and they see, okay, this is what we need. We don't want to go back to all this complexity and certification and things like that. And the adoption is quite large. We are onto something good, and we believe the existing customers, happy customers, are the proof of that. So we are gaining traction, and we look forward to a great future.
And probably my last question will be, what's the history behind you coming up with UPilot? Because at that time I suppose that there were already CRMs in the market. So how did you come to say, okay, there's the opportunity to devise a new CRM system that's much simpler, that's more easy to administer and to run? So how did you get that idea to start?
Yeah, it's a very good question. See, previously I had built, scaled and sold a company before. So in that experience, I was using a legacy CRM system, cloud-based, quite famous. And when I started my new company, I did not want to go back to that, because one is, you have to really whip the salespeople to use it. They don't really instinctively go and use it. So we went ahead and started using a small business CRM. And instantly I realized this is going to make us stuck, right? There's no reporting, there's no role-based access. And finally, when I looked in the market for that, it's basically very few players, and we saw a wide space. And we validated this by launching a small product which latches onto a small CRM and gives these applications. And we priced it 2x the price of the CRM just to validate the market. It really worked well. We saw that a lot of companies, we call them up and say, why do you go to this legacy system? They say, hey, we have grown out of small business CRM. There's not really any other alternative. And we also notice that whenever there's a good player comes in the market, these legacy players either buy them to shut them down, and they kind of defend the turf. So we believe that customers are losing out in this bargain. And we said, why not develop something that gives all this, enterprise security features, control features, everything in a very, very simplified form. So our mantra is like, you can learn anything within 3 minutes, and you can do anything within 3 clicks. So basically, all the complexity of enterprise software, CRM solutions have been completely removed from both salesperson's perspective and from the company's perspective too. And proof is in the pudding. Like we have Volvo in Australia, which is managing hundreds of millions of dollars using our system. We have several Inc. 500 companies in the US using it. We have companies in Denmark, who did not want to go back to legacy systems, started using our product. So yes, though I think we have done something that the market needs. There is a problem that we are solving. Eliminating complexity, solving low adoption and high cost is always a good opportunity to disrupt.
And to date, UPilot is running on in how many companies? I won't say users, because obviously in one company that could be multiple users. But if it's not something that you can disclose?
See, we have started building the product with paying customers. So that's something interesting, because before we wrote a single line of code, we got our customer first. So we went to the customer with a prototype saying, hey, if this is the problem you're facing, if you develop this, would you buy? Right? So one of our, I won't go into the absolute number of customers right now, but I'll give you an example is when we were in US, one of the first customers in US, was about to implement a legacy system. We went in and we got their teams in Sunnyvale, in China and in India onboarded in about 4 to 5 hours, right? So at the end of this implementation, the CEO wrote us a $500,000 check saying that we want to be part of this story. So that's as powerful as that, right? We are solving a really critical problem for businesses, because a lot of, even in Volvo, the national head of sales was struggling with, they had a legacy CRM implementation done, very expensive, but nobody was using it. Right, that's the biggest problem, right? You can't, the era of top-down approach is finished, right? You can't force people to use systems anymore. If people say, okay, listen, why do you want me to use that if you can get the same result using something else which I like, right? So that's really opening up, and that's what we are seeing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bhaskaran, and enjoy the rest of your stay here in Mauritius.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.